So last time I finished up the beginnings of the body and I showed y'all what it's gonna look like when it gets clear coated. In this one, all I'm gonna do, it's gonna be pretty short, so I'm just going to glue the neck into the body. Because at this point I don't want to do any more finishing until it's all together, because the sanding and finishing process needs to be done with the whole body. So all it's going to involve is a couple of things. Gorilla Wood glue, the neck and the body obviously, and then I have a couple of clamps, but I'm only going to use one. It's one of these little trigger clamps where you just pull and it clamps together. And I'm going to do a couple little things on the bottom of the body. I'm going to use just a little flat piece of wood so that the clamp isn't digging into this part of the wood here. And then on the top, on the neck, I'm going to use something a little softer. I've got this little, I guess it's a piece of foam. I don't even remember where I found it, but it's going to go over this spot where the frets are so that I'm not digging into the fretboard. Basically all I'm going to do is put a little bit of glue inside the neck joint here, matching the spots where it's going to be hitting, so that'll be along these edges here, and then also the flat bottom piece here. So I'm just going to glue up all in this little pocket. And then from there, pretty much just press it in, press it down, clamp it together, and leave it overnight. So I'm going to do that real quick right now. And the best way I found to do this, even though it's kind of messy, is I just take my finger in the glue and just throw it in there. Use my finger to it just gives me a really good feel for how much glue is in the spot. Make sure I'm hitting all the little areas I need to. And you don't want to over glue it at all, but you definitely want to have enough to make contact with all the different pieces. I think we've got more than enough right there. And this part I've got to kind of rush on because this glue, even though it doesn't set immediately, it is fairly fast drying. So I'm just going to kind of wedge this bad boy in here. It's a super tight fit. I actually tested it before I started the video. So it's definitely going to take a little bit of pressure. And once I've got it in place, I'm just going to press down by hand everything that I can. And then I'm going to put my little bottom piece in, top piece in place. I'm going to hang it off the edge of the table just so it's easier to get to these areas. Put my little bottom bracing there, a little padding for the frets. Put that in a spot where everything's making good contact. And then I'm just literally going to clamp it down as much as I can. And just by looking at it, it looks like everything's sitting in the pocket nicely. So as long as it's as tight as I can get it, and it is, that's all she wrote. And I'm just going to let that sit, let that glue dry. And then we'll be ready to take it to the next little spot there. Thanks, guys.